Hey, what's up, guys? I took a little bit of hiatus from videos, about a week or so, but I'm back with a really important video. A topic that I have addressed in the past. I like to address because I think it's important. And what it does is it illustrates male psychology a little bit. A large amount of guys, especially guys who aren't so great in the dating game, in the relationship in general game. And why is that? Because they are a nice guy. Now, before I get into this, I have to make a distinguish between different types of nice guys because you know there's what are considered genuine men, genuine in kind and courteous men. Okay, there's that, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily. It can be if you overdo it and to the wrong people, you get yourself in trouble trying to help somebody who you should probably just not help in certain situations. But my videos are not about that. It's distinguishing those types of guys from those who use niceness, the act, like an act, to a facade to mask their neediness and dependency. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit more into this. You might be scratching your head a little bit so far, but let me explain a bit of the deeper psychology here. A lot of guys, they myself included back in the day, like I think we all, as mentioned, relate to this. If you don't, you're probably lying to yourself. A lot of guys adopt this behavior unconsciously because they want to, they're looking for, what's a good word, validation. They're seeking approval from women. And in order to do so, they put on the nice guy act. Okay? But that's not their authentic self, right? And you might be able to get away with that initially, like in a first impression. You might initially make a first impression by being a nice guy and things, but very quickly, women especially will see through this. Anyone who with any type of emotional intelligence generally will see through this pretty easily, but women especially because they're much more emotionally intelligent than men, and they'll see you for what you are, and will be insulting in a way because they'll see that you're putting on an act. You're not genuine. That's kind of insulting. And it's a turn-off. It's a put-off anyway. They don't want anything to do with you after that. And they'll see your underlying neediness there. So there's the big difference between these two, this dichotomy here of niceness, is one radiates confidence and the other one signifies dependency. And dependency is a big turnoff for women. Women don't want a guy who is dependent on them for money, for attention, approval, lots of different things. They don't want a dependent guy. That's like having a man-child. I think that's what a beta, I would call beta, but I never liked the terms alpha and beta because it's very superficial terms, and it doesn't get down to the psychology of things, which I'm addressing. But if you want, you could label it that way. Okay, it's a simplified term. You could label a dependent guy as a beta, and alpha as somebody who's not dependent, who has confidence, radiates confidence. So what women do look for is a guy that with traits that are stable and not dependent. That's maturity. I had the 3 M's of attraction for men, and it's muscularity, money, and what was the last one? Well, there was a 4th one, and the 4th one I always say is maturity. And when it comes down to maturity, emotional intelligence is, 3 M's. Money, masculinity, and muscles. That's the 3. But maturity. Maturity, going to get down to the emotional intelligence, as we were just saying. They're not looking at a guy who's seeking to please in that niceness and putting on an act of how nice he is when it's not genuine. It's not a good look. So, why nice guys finish last? And this is last being lack any attractive, seductive qualities, or anti-seductive, anti-sexy qualities. And if you're one of these, I'm sorry, but I have to just lay it. I'm just being honest here. And to be honest, I was one myself, and I learned over the years. In my 20s, I was the nice guy. Okay, in a lot of ways. Now, based on my understanding of psychology and my growth, maturity. Okay, maturity is the key aspect here. I would one of it, and I'm not perfect. I'm not here trying to frame myself as a perfect guy. Trust me, I still make mistakes, and this is why I think some of us can relate to this. But to get right to it, like being attraction, it's a mate selection process. Okay, it's a pair bond. I call it pair bonding, the scientific term. It happens through all species. Mating behavior happens. Okay, and in the mate selection, the selective aspect is what women do. Women are the selectors. Okay, they select if you were going to be inside them, blowing your load in them or not. Okay, they're going to put on the brakes at a certain point, or they're going to open up to you. And when they open up to you, then that's when the actual mating occurs, and that's when genetics are passed down, and why humans have been around for however long we have. But not to go down that road, but the nice behavior, is kind of manipulative. If it's ungenuine, it's not genuine. So, in doing so, you have a means to an end mindset, I would call it, as opposed to you're part of the process. Being part of the process is genuine and natural. Natural is the process. Okay, like the process of it's a natural process of a caterpillar to a butterfly. There's a metamorphic process of things, right? Or like a blossom on a tree to the apple. Okay, there's a process that happens. And puberty in humans, and the whole process happens. Well, there's the pair bonding process, and in that pair bonding process, if it becomes like a means to an end instead of being part of the process, then you're like moving away from the natural way things work. You're like, because your mind's fucking shit up, and part of your mind is all the insecurities and everything else, but you're kind of putting yourself in the unmating bracket in doing so. The bracket of the undesirable types in the selection process. If that makes sense. Because you're finishing last, because you're a nice guy, because you're ungenuine. You're putting on a nice act, but that's just to mask your insecurities. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense why, first of all, it's unattractive? That it's not something that women want when they see it? Because they'll see it. They'll see it. And they'll recognize it. Even if you don't. So, I'm going to move towards the conclusion of all of this, which is that nice guys don't always finish last, and you have to be the genuine nice guy. That makes sense. Keep genuine. You're part of the process of things. You're working with the process of things. You understand the process, and you're working with it. Okay? You're not trying to put on an act of something that you're not. You are it. And, becoming just... Don't lose the kindness. It's like, all of a sudden, guys would really like this. Wait, nice guys finish last, so all of a sudden I have to be like a dick? Or I'm not. Like, then they go flip to the other opposite of what is unattractive as well. Even worse in some ways, because it's almost like a maliciousness or something, right? It's not nice. It's not good. So niceness And this is kind of when it comes down to semantics, is being just kind, considerate, compassionate, not a dick. You can still all be these things, okay? But it's not, you're putting on an act in doing so. But you're also not a pushover in the process as well. Like I made videos on the past that it's okay to say no. Saying no is okay. You're not a yes man. So, yeah, just don't expect, sometimes being kind, just don't expect anything in return. Just like, it's unconditional. You're just unconditionally a nice guy. You're not looking for something for it. It's not a conditional niceness. It's unconditional. Conditional being you're looking for something in return out of it. A condition. No, it's unconditional, right? It's just like an unconditional gift that you're giving. You give somebody a gift and not expecting nothing back in return. Yeah, dude, that's a nice thing to do. And in doing so, you can kind of evolve from, if you are the nice guys that finish last, you can evolve into, because you might have some good qualities there or whatever, but you have to move past those insecurities into being confident and just be real. Keep it real. Keep it genuine. And that's what truly being yourself is actually a good thing, always. But grow yourself. So when we grow, we'll be a new self through the growth, but then you be that. And that's genuinely being your new self. Okay, so I'll leave it there, guys. What are your thoughts on this video? Have you experienced like when you're a nice guy and it wasn't working, or did you think it was because, as what I said, that you were it's because you were just trying to please, you try to impress, and was that something that was seen as being not nice in her regard, anti-seductive? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, of like, is that being beta, and what would be the alpha thing to do? Are alpha guys supposed to be not nice too? What are your thoughts on this? Because this is a topic that's really, I've always find interesting, and I'd love to hear your perspective on it. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Peace.